keep my hands to myself. You know, it's because I am obsessed with getting my hands in community all the time. Plus, I love Selena Gomez. So yeah, I am Liz. I'm Deputy Director of Content at Genius. Before that, I was the Senior Community Manager at Genius. I joined Genius in 2014. Before that, I was a middle school classroom teacher, and a curriculum developer, and a school administrator. Just want to put this idea in the air that if you want a new community manager, teachers are not a bad place to look. They have different ideas about how you motivate people and how you sort of redirect people, which is a big part of what we all do. And I think they can get really to the core of what is like beautiful and transformative about community. So just plug for the teachers. Speaking of, let's talk about Let Knowledge Drop, how Genius scales its community of scholars and hip-hop heads. Kind of a community that is a lot like sneakerheads, so something to keep thinking about. Our evolution. So we started in 2009 as rapexegesis.com. When I say we, I mean 3 friends in an apartment. I actually happened to live around the corner at the time. They were some of my friends from college. But truly, the way the site started was that it was a conversation of 3 friends talking about a Cameron song. And 2 friends who knew a bit more about hip-hop were explaining to the other, who was a little bit newer to like rap, like, here's what this song is. And they just like got into it and had so much fun. And they started saying, well, can't there be a website that does exactly this? And that 3rd friend who didn't know as much about rap music also happened to be a programmer, and so they built it that weekend. I had sushi for dinner with them that night, and I was like, you guys, you know you have like really good jobs at Google and D. Shaw, right? But they kept going, and it was a weekend project. Over time, we realized there was an acknowledgement that that first name, Rap Exegesis, like I'm a former English major, I love it, but a lot of people are like, what's exegesis? There's also another problem with that URL that I'll leave it to you to sort of recognize. So we became Rap Genius. And even then in 2011, Rap Genius, it's growing, more people are coming. It's still, we wanted to make it more inclusive. In 2014, we became Genius. So that evolution of the name is matched in the evolution of the development of the whole site. The other thing that happened, so first it was 3 people, right? Then it was an email list. They started inviting their friends to participate, analyzing text, and they wouldn't put anything on the site until it was declared done. But then this thing started happening where the email list was growing. And then this really exciting thing started happening where people they didn't even know joined the email list. And then they realized this thing where actually probably the best contributors were the people they didn't know. And it occurred to them at that point, like, whoa, why are we making this little insular thing? We got to open it up. We've got to invite people in. And so the whole course of our evolution has always been, how do we bring more people in? How do we get more people in? Now, once you start doing that, once you reorient from how do we make the thing really good before we put it out into the world to how do we get more people in here to make this thing good with us, you got to start making different kinds of product decisions, and you got to start making different kinds of outreach decisions. So what are we now? We're this place where as soon as a new song comes out, you go to Genius, okay? And so Rihanna drops, Genius explains the deeper meaning behind music and culture, what's Rihanna saying on work. We have songs up within 7 minutes of release. And that's not something we're doing at headquarters. That's our community that's passionate, that's become a part of this movement, that is getting on the site and feeling like, I got to get on Genius, I got to share what I know with the world, I got to read what other people know, I want to be a part of this mission. So the thing that's always there for us is this community of passionate contributors. And that's the thing that once we started realizing, whoa, it's the people we don't know who are the best ones. but what they had was the real passion for the thing. You're like, well, we got to get more people. We got to get more people who have passion. We got to get more people who know stuff. And different people are going to know different stuff, so you got to get a whole lot of different kinds of people. How we keep it 100. We're cultivating a culture that's diverse, inclusive, passionate. So you're going from rap exegesis to rap genius to genius. We have dedicated community managers who all started as contributors. They were the people who got so obsessed with the site that we were like, well, we would do anything to keep them going and keep them doing this thing as much as possible. You know what? We're going to hire them. And so that was one of the things that when I sort of started becoming more of a community manager on the site, really worked closely with this community staff. And one of the things that was key about that is, like, these are people who maybe haven't had traditional work experience before. Maybe they're coming, like, they're college students. Maybe they just finished college. Maybe they haven't even started college. But we want to make it work, and we want to make them succeed because we know they have that passion that we want to model for the rest of our community. And so it's about, as the manager of that organization, how do you create the structure that allows those people to succeed and models what you want to see in the rest of your community? And then we're lowering the barrier to entry for new contributors and making sure they're equipped with the right tools. So that starts with, okay, you don't have to be one of our friends to join the site. That's one lower barrier to entry. Then it starts with, anyone can participate. Do you need an account first? No, just do the thing first, then we'll try to get you to have an account. Then it's even things now like, well, it's overwhelming. Writing's pretty hard. Some people are into it, some people aren't, so we've created more ways to contribute that don't necessarily require a lot of writing. Adding metadata, adding more buttons to the site of, like, this annotation needs improvement, which is really good feedback to get from someone. Even if they're not going to necessarily do the revision themselves, they're giving you that signal that that's what you need. And we include all of those types of contribution in our one key KPI, which is the amount of contribution on popular pages, because that's what we want people to do. So why this thing on popular pages, right? Like, why not just all contribution? The reason we do it on popular pages is because that's what we know most people are going to see, and that's why we care that what's there is being modeled for them so that they know what we want them to do. So anyone who comes to those popular pages is going to get the clearest, best message of, this is what genius is. And that's so key. We got to tell them what genius is. You want to signal to your community, this is what we are, so that they know how to participate. And as soon as they start participating, they're doing it in a way that you can be really excited about. So we're always trying to increase the variety and the value of that contribution. What's really exciting about our site is that we have community, me, and tech working together to build all this stuff. So I'm having dinner with our tech team constantly, just being like, well, can't we do this? Could we add this? Could we add this? This is what I'm doing right now. Can't you build this? Nothing an engineer loves more than the phrase, couldn't you just? They hate that. But so we're working together to build stuff. What was the main thing we built? Pretty soon after we opened the site up to contributors beyond that email group, second thing we did was what ended up being a pretty cool thing. We turned knowledge into a game. We added points. So we got these points everywhere on the site. Anything you do, you're getting points for it. We put those points everywhere. So we put them top accomplishments. That's a user named Frias's profile page. Those are her top accomplishments. These are the top Beyonce scholars on the site. It's weird. There's like this one person who works at the company who got so obsessed with Beyonce scholarship. And on the weekends, even when she should be doing other stuff, she just keeps playing the game. Because the points are addictive. And actually, just to be clear, I have more points than that by now. I'm just saying. But putting those points everywhere juices contribution, and it makes it fun. And now it's all like cynical, oh, points, game, whatever. But the other thing about it is that points make your passion real. Points become this concrete symbol for this passion and knowledge that you know you have, and now you have something to point to show the world. And one of the things that, as a former educator, really means a lot to me about Genius is it's a place where a lot of young people who don't necessarily get to have the respect of, like, being a scholar or being an expert come to, and they get that respect because they legitimately know this shit. And they earn that respect, and they deserve it. And they get it on Genius. And so those points are a gimmick, but they're also really real and really meaningful. And we put them as many places as we can. So it works. That's the other thing about it. These points work. These are some of the numbers about our community. They're pretty big. They're pretty cool. We have over 40 million visitors a month, 36 million in the US alone. Again, our core users are young. We have passionate communities all around the world. Here are some of my favorite stats. 1.2 million active annotators. That's 1.2 million people reading and writing stuff. Like, as a former teacher, it's like, how could you possibly get that to happen by choice? It's pretty cool. 15,000 accounts created every week. 3 million annotations open daily. Popular pages, that's like 1 million views or more, often contain the work of over 150 contributors. Again, that's a lot of people who like know something and have all this valuable stuff that they just want to share and get out there, and Genius gives them a place to share that passion. Our community spends a collective 5 years on Genius every day. And like when a new Beyonce song drops, it's like 10 years. For me, just me. We have one clear collective mission, and that's to share knowledge. Some of our contributors, our community is pretty cool. Lin-Manuel Miranda, Blake Shelton, Lil Wayne, Selena Gomez, my girl from the opening song. But, you know, they are cool, and that's real. But it's also that the same things that bring our community members to the site bring these community members to the site. It's a chance. Well, first of all, they have a pretty like authentic, unique set of knowledge. Who knows more about the songs than the people who made it? But it's also a chance to actually talk about the music, which a lot of like celebrities don't have the chance to do that. They're constantly getting asked about their relationship. They're getting asked about like their drug habits. They're getting asked about everything other than the work itself. And Genius becomes the place where they can connect on the thing that they authentically love too and share their knowledge. So what do we care about? Converting casual visitors into contributors, into scholars, making them realize, like, you are a scholar, you are an expert. Fostering a dialogue between contributors, community leaders, staff, celebrities, all about music. And empowering users to find their voice. Because finding their voice and believing in their voice is what increases the value of their contribution. If they know they're a genius, they're going to do genius stuff. We got a really big team. We need some really big rings. So we're always trying to make our community feel like they're a part of a movement, because they are. And they are the movement. It's the whole thing. They're it. Everything we have on our site is because of our community. They literally made it. And we sort of reinforce that and remind them of that and recognize that all the time, because we don't exist without them. What's next? So here's Wiz Khalifa reading fan annotations. Like, when we meet with Wiz Khalifa, we're showing him what's on the site. New types of artist community interaction, community members interviewing their favorite artists, more URL to IRL community experiences. We have this new event space at our new office. Maybe we'll do the next CMX there. More community involvement in the development of Genius products. So we have this new partnership with Spotify, Fact Tracks, that right now, like, if one of our community members sees their annotation in a fact track, they're like, oh, this is so cool, did you see my thing? But we want them to be able to write them. We want them to be able to make the videos. We want them to be able to write the articles, which they're already doing. We have a new Dream Album contest out right now. All of that's always happening, more community involvement, because they're geniuses. So thanks. Liz@genius.com.